This is He Knows His Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right, last video today. Anthony Yarde versus Sergey Kovalev. My final take and my final emphatic breakdown of the fight. Hear me and hear me well. Here's the thing, folks. Anthony Yarde is going to do the impossible. Let me say that again. Anthony Yarde is going to do the impossible. The stakes are laid out, right? You know what I'm saying? If you're a betting man, all of the odds are completely against Anthony Yarde. The stakes would be for you to put your money on Anthony Yarde, right? But smart money is going to tell people supposedly to put it on Sergey Kovalev because they're in Russia on his backyard, right? You know what I'm saying? All of these things have happened where Anthony Yarde has basically signed all of the stipulations that's in the favor of Sergey Kovalev, right? Here's the thing. When somebody's on their home floor or their home court, it could be a make or break moment for them pressure-wise too. I don't think people are putting that into the equation. See, the thing is, people only look at the sweet science aspect of boxing. When you do that, you are narrow-minded, you are closed-minded. You can't just look at boxing that way. This is what separates me from the pack. This is why I'm always 7 steps ahead of the game. Because cats are only looking at it from a sweet science aspect. They're only just doing film study. That's one side of the tale. You have to look at the totality of everything that comes into it. Basically the conglomerate, the full total package. What is the total package? Sergey Kovalev is a flaming alcoholic. He has vodka problems. Sergey Kovalev has domestic issues. All of these things take a toll on the fighter. You have to understand, boxing is a sport of concentration. Let me say that again. It's a sport of concentration and dedication. How can you not factor all of these mitigating factors? Because it was basically professed in the Andre Ward fight. Now people are saying, well, you can't compare Andre Ward to Anthony Yarde. I'm not doing that. But Andre Ward broke him mentally. So the damage is done. You have to factor that in as well too. John David Jackson came out and said some very controversial and some very cutthroat, cold-hearted and unadulterated cutthroat truths about Sergey Kovalev. You have to factor that in. These are finite details that can't be omitted because you just want to look at it from a sweet science perspective. This man got a knockout loss to Alvarez. Are we omitting that? Are we forgetting that that has not happened? These are mitigating factors that have to be added in. So when you add all of this stuff in, are you really just being biased because you previously looked at the Crusher for what he was prior to Andre Ward? Now, if you're looking at it from that lens and you want to put in the comment section, yeah, I'm thinking he's going to be pre the Crusher, then okay, I could respect that. But that Crusher is long gone. Andre Ward broke that spirit. Alvarez knocked his ass out in the 7th round. You can't take that back. These are quantified and quantitative and calculated things that's on his resume now. And we also know that that Sergey Kovalev can't go past 7 rounds. He wanes from 7 rounds and up, the championship rounds in boxing. So with all of that intel, how does Anthony Yarde does not have a chance? Offensively, he is like a Earl the True Spence and a freaking Tank Davis. The reason why I compare him to them offensively, not total package wise, because he still has a lot to prove to show that he's on those levels. But offensively is because just like Tank Davis, he has blazing speed at the light heavyweight division. This is how he gets his knockouts. He doesn't get a 94.5% knockout ratio because he got it out of his ass. This man is a KO artist, a KO specialist. He sets his knockouts up. And not only that, his lateral movement is actually pretty good. And he's deceptively good with the 1s and 2s. Let me say it again. His lateral movement is not half bad. And he's deceptively good with his 1s and 2s. This is what people don't understand. Anthony Yarde has fast hands. That kind of reminds you of the way Tank is. And just like Tank, he knows how to feint properly and then bait you in and then get the knockout. Now people are saying, well, he's done that against low-level bum bashers. But here's the thing, when you fight low-level bum bashers, you treat them as such. You still get respect for that. You know how many people fight low-level bum bashers and get exposed? Even in those fights? So when you're fighting low-level bum bashers and you're showing them and showcasing them as low-level bum bashers, something has to be said for that. And you do that each and every single time that you fight. Come on. Put respect on this guy's name. And then on top of that, you got to add the precision, the power, the speed, and the sheer confidence of an Anthony Yarde. And let's not forget his hunger and his drive. These things need to be factored in, folks. So I could understand people are picking Sergey Kovalev to win. But if you're biasly, or you're just unjustly in your mind saying that Sergey Kovalev is going to just beat this kid up, or he's going to KO him, or if he can handle if his chin can hold up, there's been plenty of fights that Anthony Yarde's been hit on the chin and he's held up. I've seen it in his previous fights. I'm not saying he can handle the crusher's punch. That remains to be seen. We know that he's going to have to be able to handle that. But the way that this kid is talking to him to be in Russia does not look like the moment is taking over him. It looks like he is in the moment. He's living in the moment. Because that's the thing with sports. You don't let the sport chase you. You roll and flow with the sport. I'm preaching and teaching right now. Get the notepads out, get to the damn scribbling. When you're dealing with a sport, you don't let the sport take you. You flow freely with the sport. It's like supposed to be a transition. And that's regardless whatever sport that you are in. This guy in Anthony Yarde is confident. When you look at his coach, Tunde Ajayi, right? This guy's like Miyagi, man. You get that Miyagi vibe with him. Both him and his coach are very comfortable where they're at. They're comfortable in their skin. I've been watching these interviews. I don't see anything that tells me that they lack confidence, which is very important for a big step-up fight. In so much so that Anthony Yarde basically said that whatever Sergey Kovalev said about how he was going to knock him out, that's going to be the opposite effect of what I'm going to do to him. So he's not afraid of the moment, and he's not afraid of Sergey Kovalev. Something has to be said for that. Then we look at the final piece of it. Sergey Kovalev is an old lion that's wounded. He's been dominating for a while, but he has his wounds, which I mentioned earlier. Anthony Yarde is a young lion that's coming into his own. He's looking for his pride, looking for his mates. You guys know the story, man. You guys know how the circle of life works. You guys know how the jungle works. The young lion that's hungry, that's coming into his own pride, almost always defeats the old lion. Because he's hungrier, he's stronger, he's faster, he's quicker, he's sharper. And then here's the thing that people are not understanding. They're underrating Anthony Yarde's ability. His abilities are there, man. The boy can box. The boy got power. The boy got some foot speed, man. All things that can overwhelm Sergey Kovalev. Remember, Sergey Kovalev doesn't do well with fighters that can make the fight close quarter and ugly, right? Anthony Yarde has a propensity to fight in the close quarters. He can make the fight ugly if he has to. Sergey Kovalev wants that comfortable distance so that he can land his jab and set up his powerful right and do his quick European ones and twos. But he don't want no dirty fight. He doesn't want it to be ugly. He doesn't want Anthony Yarde to get on the inside. But here's the thing. Anthony Yarde has the lateral footwork to get on the inside. So what are you guys not seeing here? So again, I'm not trying to change you guys' mind. But don't sit here and think that this fight is going to be a complete wash and that Sergey Kovalev is just going to KO him emphatically. No, that's not how the fight's going to go down. And what's up with all of these Brit dudes? These UK cats. So now you don't go for your own ever since Anthony Joshua? Oh, I keeps the foot on the what? On the X. I keeps the foot on the what? On the next. That's what happened. Ever since their AJ celestial being, their AJ God, right? Fell from grace. It seems like they've been picking against their old UK kind, dog. You know I had to throw that uppercut in that dig, dog. But the truth of the fact of the matter is this, man. Anthony Yarde is going to wipe the floor with Sergey Kovalev. That's my final prediction. I got it as a late KO stoppage. This is Hino's Sport. Checking out.